The South African Human Rights Commission and local communities have appealed for calm in the Free State town of Senekal, where economic freedom fighters, supporters, Afriforum and farmers gathered on Friday. The Commission has asked for peace and for communities to allow the justice system and the legal processes to run its course unfettered in Senekal. We're now joined by Pastor John Matutle from Senekal to discuss options for reconciliation as a cornerstone of the Constitution. And later we'll be joined by the SAHRC's Commissioner, Chris Nissen. Pastor John, good evening and thank you so much for your time tonight. Let's just begin with your reaction to what has been going on in the town of Senekal as you watch the scenes unfold. What was going through your mind?
Thank you very much, and also good evening to all your viewers. Look, it was not an easy situation. I woke up at 3 o'clock in the morning because we had also prayer sessions to do and to pray for the day and to prepare. And, I was hopeful in my mind and in my heart that it's going to be a good day. But as people started to come in and the crowd started to be bigger, you could actually feel the tension was there. So, but later on, after some few incidents that happened, one could actually sit back and say, I think this is actually going to be a good day.
And Pastor Matutle, when you go back to that incident when, the two suspects were appearing in court, and then we saw the torching of a police vehicle, which then culminated into quite a lot that then unfolded in that particular town. Yes. How did things get to this point?
I think there was a lot of high emotions. You would remember that in our country, we are actually experiencing a lot of farm attacks and farm murder, and this is farm owners and also farm workers, and I think the death of Brendan Horner it was just a blow off of the lid. A lot of people were very emotional, and even the way that he was killed, some people suggested that it was like a message, the killers were sending a message of war. And I think that is actually the thing, because when people came in Senekal for that court, they didn't just come for Brendan Horner, who died, of which all of us are really saddened by his death, but it was also based on that signal, the horrific way that Brendan has died. So I think that was actually something that made people very emotional coming into this court.
And do you think that, when you look at, of course, you are in Senekal and you possibly, are seeing the situation and how things are unfolding on the ground. Do you think police have their hands full, or are they managing with, some of the cases that they have to deal with, particularly that are farming related? Because it also does look like there's a lot of frustration towards that, the police as well.
Yeah, I think on the day itself, let me just give credit to all the police for also keeping calm for the event yesterday. But the general feeling of, especially the farmers, they really felt they feel let down and failed by the police because of the police are not proactive in preventing these deaths. Although we also have some couple of arrests that has been made, including the one that we had yesterday, which is actually a success. But the general feeling is that, there isn't enough coming from the police when it comes to preventing this death happening on our farmers.
And Pastor John, you are among those that were holding some prayer sessions in the lead up to, what we then saw yesterday. What are you hearing are the sentiments on the ground, especially from those that you were holding prayers with? What are they hoping for in Senekal?
Listen, I'm really excited, because this is for us a very good report. And I mean, this is also a proof that if the church can come together, if the community, let me just use that, if the community comes together and they pray, as the Bible says, in Second Chronicles chapter 7, verse 14, if my people who are called by my name can humble themselves, I will hear from heaven and I will heal their land. And that is exactly what we have seen. We have seen people coming together in our town, in Senekal and Matwabe and around in Free State. And in fact, in the whole nation, if not the whole world, people praying for yesterday. And I was involved from the morning up until the last bus went out of the town in Senekal, and I was so happy. And I also speak to a lot of people that joined us and that were part of the prayer chain. And the feeling is amazing, because I mean, our heart was really to say, God, we don't want to see any deaths. We don't want to see anybody getting hurt. We just want peace. We want people to come and protest in a peaceful manner. And I also have to thank also the local political leaders and leaders around here in Senekal that really stood by their words, because we had a meeting after the incident of the farmers storming into the court. I arranged a meeting, and they really gave their commitment. Everyone said, we don't want any blood, we don't want any civil war breaking, especially starting in Senekal. And that's what we have seen yesterday when God protected our nation, because this was not only about Senekal, it was actually about the whole South Africa, because it only takes one bullet. And that one bullet and one punch did not see the day yesterday. So we are very excited.
And Pastor John, I'm going to ask you just to, pause there for now. I do have Chris Nielsen from the Human Rights Commission on the line joining us in this conversation. Chris, good evening, and thank you so much for your time tonight. Let's just begin with your view as the Human Rights Commission about what has been unfolding in Senekal.
Yes, good evening to you. Apologies for the Skype that doesn't work, and thank you to Pastor John's input. And I'd like to meet with Pastor John when I'm in Senekal and his leadership. Can we just say that, this is much broader than Senekal. This is about social cohesion, and this is about polarization. And what we're very happy is what Pastor John said, that at least there's, for now, stability and peace in the area. However, we are saying that, we really need to look at what happened. First of all, the court case must continue. And those people that allegedly that are now on trial, let the law take its course. Secondly, can political parties stop polarizing? And any group stop polarizing and saying and making it a black and white issue, making it a farmer versus farm worker issue, making it a political issue. Let us say criminality is criminality, and that's why the Human Rights Commission is saying, how can we come and bring into Senekal, but not only for Senekal, but in the whole South Africa, a way of people understanding how we look at criminality and how do we build social cohesion.
And Chris, I mean, when you look at South Africa in 2012, in July, we had what, the Department of Arts and Culture was calling at the time the Social Cohesion Summit. And this was, of course, trying to forge, bridge the gap between the different nationalities in South Africa. Fast forward, we're in 2020. It does appear to be a serious shortfall for South Africa when it comes to social cohesion. Where are we falling short?
First of all, we're talking about 26 years of democracy. We talk about the rainbow nation deferred because we do not have a rainbow nation, and we do have a dysfunctional society. And for many reasons that have contributed to it, from service delivery, corruption, crime, everything you can name it. We are falling short because as a country, and I must appeal to government, as a government, they have not done enough to build social cohesion. There are certain parts of our laws, there are certain parts of our practices as a country, and certainly we have not reached out to all communities in this country. And therefore, we need to understand that there are people that may feel disgruntled, they may feel justified or unjustified, that we need to say, how do we build a country with tolerance, respect, that we do not go into the lager, that we do not use racist words. Well, you know, human nature is we always do it, but that we have a very active and proactive campaign of building a new citizenship in South Africa. Unfortunately, we have not achieved that. And that's why we're saying as the Human Rights Commission, what we want to do is to say how, as the Human Rights Commission, how do we build a culture of human rights in the Republic of South Africa?
And Chris, I mean, when you look at Senekal, there's various schools of thought about what exactly was happening there and continues to happen there. Some are saying that it's simply racial tensions that are culminating into what we then saw in the past few days. And then others are saying that the big issue here is land. And it does look like it all boils down to the land question, while others are saying that it goes beyond racial tensions as well, because there are other factors at play. As the Human Rights Commission, what are you seeing at face value here?
First of all, nothing can justify criminality. If there's a murder, one murder in South Africa is one murder too many. In this country, we have 55 murders on a day from various quarters, various townships, various areas. So we need to fight criminality. What we've seen in Senegal is obviously, you're correct, there's racial polarization. There is a kind of a build-up over the years of us not addressing social cohesion and tolerance and building good citizenship. We have seen it's racial tension. We have seen also people exploiting the situation. Instead of them coming to say, how can, like Pastor said, how can we help resolve the issues? We see people, whoever they are, from parties, institutions, whatever, wanting to jump on a bandwagon and say, we need to exploit the situation. Any responsible citizen and institution in this country should not flame up any racial or any other crisis, but say, what is it that we can do, how to resolve the issues? That's why as the Commission we're saying we want to go and assist, even if it's a small way, how do we resolve the issues? And if we can use Senekal, because there are many other areas, but if we can Senekal as a success, how we can build that social cohesion, the tolerance, and respect for one another, and that we can also deal with the issue of race. And this is the problem in South Africa. We've got the Rainbow Nation dream deferred. We have not really dealt with the issue of confronting each other, and confronting not in a negative way, but opening up and be frank and open about how do we deal with the issue of racism in this country. We skirt around it. We need to really say and be honest and open about it and say, how do we deal with it? And not go from one conference to another conference, but openly and frankly speaking about it. Look at, for example, two things. Heritage Day. Heritage Day has been turned into a pride day. The national anthem. Some sing it, others don't sing it. Respect for our president. Respect for our leaders. All of the respect for our flag, even if we disagree with it.